Hello, everyone. We're going to be learning about transformations from the graphs here of absolute value functions. So in the previous video, we're looking at the equations. Now we're going to be looking at the graphs. So the very first thing that I want to show you guys is what the absolute value function, the parent function of the absolute value looks like. So I'm actually going to draw this here, and I'm going to try to make it kind of light so that it doesn't interfere with our work. But the plain absolute value function is here, and it looks like this. Okay, it looks like that. And then also going in this direction, like this. Okay, so this is the regular absolute value function. And the first thing that I notice whenever I'm looking at my pink graph here is that it's not actually going in the same direction. See how the regular absolute value function looks like this, and the other one looks like this? That means that it reflected over the x-axis at some point in time. So it went from looking like this to looking like this. Okay, so that is a reflection over the y-axis. So the very first thing is reflect over the the x-axis, x-axis. Okay, the next thing that I want to look at is, did it do a vertical shrink or a vertical stretch? Now, one thing to notice is that with the regular absolute value function, it goes up one, right one, up one, right one, up one, right one. Look at this one. Down two, right one, down two, right one. Okay, so since it's going down to right one, that means that we're going to have a slope of -2, but our negative was actually already covered by reflecting over the x-axis. So we're only going to do the positive number. This is 2 over 1. So that means that this is going to have a slope of 2 over 1, meaning this is going to be a vertical stretch by a factor of 2, okay, because our slope is now 2 over 1, which is 2, instead of 1 over 1, which is 1. Okay, and you can tell that it is stretching because it got more narrow instead of laying down flat. So it looked more like this. Even though it was going down, that's okay. It went more like this instead of more relaxed like this. Okay, so vertical stretch by a factor of 2. Now we can do our right and left and up and down. So this is actually pretty easy. Here was the original point, and it went right 1, up 3. See that? Right 1, up 3. So we can literally just write that. Right 1, up 3. Okay, let's do another example. And I am going to draw the original function here again. And remember, that's just up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So it looks something like this. Okay, and the great thing about this function is that it's still going in the same direction. So we're not going to reflect over the x-axis in this example. Instead, we're going to go ahead and move on to our vertical shrinks and stretches. Okay, but here you can see it has the exact same slope, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So since this does have the same slope, it's not going to be a vertical shrink or stretch at all. So now let's move on to our right and left and up and down. And we can just look and see what this point does right here, what the vertex does. And we can see it goes 1, 2, 3, left 3, down 1, left 3, down 1. So since it went left 3, down 1, this is going to be the only transformation here. Left 3, down 1. Okay, and let's do our last example. And then in the next video, I'll show you how to write the equations, and we can also check our transformations. So here is our last example, and I am going to draw the parent function right here. Okay, I did not do as great of a job with this one, but that's okay. All right, and there. Okay, so there is our parent function. And the first thing that I want to look at is, did it change the direction it was going? Did it go from here to here? And in this example, yes, it did. It They were not pointing in the same direction. So that means that we are going to reflect over the x-axis first. And it actually doesn't matter which order you go in, but I just like to go in the same order. Okay, the next thing that we want to check is, did the slope change? So this was going up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. So let's look at our slope here. It's going down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. So since it's going down 1, right 2, first of all, I want to say that the down is already captured in the reflecting over the y-axis, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's going up or down 1 and then right 2. So this is going to be 1 over 2. So since 1 over 2 is 1/2 and that is less than 1, that means that we're going to do a vertical shrink by a factor of 1/2. And again, we're not doing -1/2 because that is already covered by reflecting over the x-axis. Another way that you can tell is because the function went from doing like this to doing like this. Okay, it's relaxing or it's flattening out like a pancake. That is a shrink. Okay, it's shrinking down. All right, and then the last one is looking at what the vertex did. So it was here, and then it went left 1, up 2. So that's all that we're going to write there. Left 1, up 2. Okay, so that's all that I have for this video. Please stay tuned for the next video. We're going to use these transformations to write our equations, and then we're going to check our work. Goodbye.